How am I feeling? Premium account Twitter required. Go live.
It says the streaming is live. What up, y'all?
Yes, I gotta remove one. I'm just trying to make sure we live on all platforms, cause Instagram, I don't know. It says I need to enter the whatchamacallit, but it ain't working.
Let me see something.
Let me see if I can. We're telling your friends. I don't know. I think I'm about to just turn this thing off, but
No, it's saying you're live.
yeah, but it ain't doing what I needed to do. All right.
It's saying live, but I don't
Okay.
see.
It's three
Yep.
people watching. We good. We good. We good. We starting to roll. We rolling up. Hey, what's going on, Coach La? It's great to see you in the building. My people, what up though? We decided we would go live tonight for an all black men need therapy conversation. We got into a real heavy one last night, but we'll dub it back. But my name is Chief,
I'm Butta.
and the fellas may jump on at some point tonight. So if they do, we'll get it going. If not, you're all welcome to join the conversation. We wanted to make this a live conversation, so there's going to be a link in the chat, and those of you who want to join us in having a conversation, feel free to do so, because
Please.
we out here trying to make it work. Typically, before we get into any episode, we like to we like to do a check-in, see how everybody's doing, and all that good stuff. Head to Instagram on a desktop. Uh, that's what we doing. So I need to do that.
Okay, cool.
Before we while we doing that, go ahead and check in, B. How you living? How you be? How you feeling?
I'm great. My mentor is in. We're doing a training this weekend, and her flight was delayed and all these other things. And what it got me really clear about is that sometimes, there's a power greater than us. I call it God, is what I believe. Will create a detour, um, but will still get you to your destination. And it really just depends on how you handle the detour. While she was on her trip, people were cussing and going off on the airlines. It's raining, it's bad. But she made it a conscious decision to be kind. She's like, I'm just gonna be kind. Like we didn't find out in the air that there was a problem with the airplane. We found out on the ground. Thank you. Right. So it was that kind of thing. And then today I had a chance to go see the Tracy Ellis Ross. The production of Tracy Ellis Ross is in, and it was riveting. If you are in New York or near New York and can go see it, it's going to close August 9th. I would encourage you to go see it. It is it is riveting. She knocks it out the park, and she's so the piece is called Every Brilliant Thing, and it's the story of this young lady who started this list of every brilliant thing. Number one, ice cream. Number two, going to bed early. So she started as a child, and she writes this beautiful story and weaves in the experience of her mom and her dad. And just listening to that and looking at my own life, it lit a different fire because this is my second time seeing it. So I couldn't wait to get on tonight to just be with you all, be with my people, love on my people. And then I had the chance to have dinner with my mentor and one of her best friends. And it's about seven of them. And all of them are bosses. All of them are giants in their own right. And we talked about everything from investments to her new business that she started, where at almost 70 years old, she started a business where she has a mobile electric battery. And if
Mm.
you're stranded someplace, she'll come charge your battery. And she currently is working out like contracts with some different folks. But I was like, every time I think I'm finished, I meet somebody and they're like, yeah, you ain't even got started yet. So where I'm at right now, I'm energized, I'm excited, I'm hyped. And yeah, I'm ready to create. I really want to get into the play I wrote. So yeah,
You wrote a
co
play?
I co-wrote a play a couple of weeks back. Um, and it's really it's almost like a love it's a love letter to some parents who made incredible children, but also more importantly, a love letter to caregivers. And it really speaks to how caregivers do so much, and we're not always clear when we look at the lens of caregiver from child to caregiver. Like we know, like a home health aide to come in and things like that. Not dismissing all of the wonderful work they do, but it's something when you have to grieve the parent from the lens of a child to adult, and then as an adult you become the caregiver, and then it's almost fighting through this ocean of resentment because you want your life, but you also want to say thank you for giving you life. And the only way to do that for some is to be a caregiver to an ailing parent. And then
Are
that's
you
yeah.
good? No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just I'm just gonna ask, are you still interested in creating that book of first? I think that's a brilliant concept, and you haven't done it. Why is the question?
I
Or
want to do no. I want to. I don't necessarily want to do the book of first. I want to do the All Black Men Need Therapy anthology.
well, I already started, so let's get to it. I think
Okay.
you can put the book of first within that. But I think that's just something that a lot of people don't like don't consider, and I think it should needs to be considered. Do you want to share with the people what that is, or you want to wait till they read the book?
I can give you a quick snapshot. A lot of times we talk about the death of a loved one, a good friend, somebody you may or may not have known, but we never really talk about the year first. That first year where you don't have them for holidays, you don't have them for birthdays, and we never talk about the emotional toll. And grief is really tricky. I believe that that first year you're almost numb to your grief and you're almost on automatic.
Hmm.
By year two, it's like a gut punch. Either that first birthday of theirs or yours, where you can like, wait a minute, the seat is empty. Ah, the seat has been empty for 2 years. And then some of us take a nosedive. I became a very high functioning depressed person, and like dealt with suicidal ideations and fatigue, um, because the relationship wasn't good, but the grief was fresh and real. Right. I didn't have nobody to argue with or tell me I wasn't gonna be shit. And something about that was a driver. And when I didn't have that driver, I was like, well, who gonna tell me I can't so I can? So
Hmm.
and so that's what caused me to look at, wow, who else was impacted by the year first? So yeah. What's
Yeah,
up
I
with you,
can't.
man? What's going on with you?
I'm
Check
chilling,
it.
man. I've been keeping it like low key for the past couple of episodes that we've recorded, and I didn't get this job opportunity that I was looking for. So I was low key bummed out about it for a second, but what's meant to be for me will come,
For
and
sure.
I'm gonna ride that wave when it happens. I'm just trying to see if I can go live on my Instagram. And
I'm sorry about the disappointment in that. Like that has to be tough.
it was okay. It's brief though, so I mean, it was long enough to where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be all right. So I don't feel like I was unprepared. I
Yeah.
just think the lack of experience in that particular position might have been something that that didn't give me the upper edge. But I'm all for learning and growing, and I think if I have the opportunity to, I'm going to reach out to some of the people I knew that were on the panel and see if they can
Give you some feedback.
give me some feedback.
That's what's up.
I don't know what just happened over here, bro.
It look like we double live, and I look sexier and whatever that is. That filter
Yeah,
is
I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. So
yo real shiny.
I'm about to get rid of that.
Easter
Um,
Sunday. Patent leather shoe black shiny. Like,
Remove. Yeah, I
oh,
didn't like that.
I'm back to regular Negro. Yeah, that white.
Anywho, so yo, did you want to tap into what I thought we could talk about tonight was why? But then I thought last night's conversation was a good way to open the door into what we
Dude,
had going
that
on.
conversation was wild.
All right, so I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up the video from that. Let the people see that, and then
Okay.
we're gonna have a discussion about it because it was very interesting, and I like the turn it took because we made it all about us. He was talking about women, but we definitely took the onus in all of this, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was good though.
Hey, Reese, I love you. Sharice Rochelle, I love you, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You're my friend, but I love you, and I hope all is well in your world. And the book of first is dope. And I'm going to send you. I wrote the first section of my joint, and I'm going to send it to you. And I would love your feedback because you're an awesome human being, and you keep it real.
I love that.
Um, yeah. Now Reese's my homegirl. Reese's really, 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 really good people.
What up,
Um,
Reezy?
man, can y'all hear that box fan in the background though? No. 'Cause
Oh, we can hear your radiator. Are you still in the project? No, I'm
don't
playing. Go
do
ahead.
don't do me like that. Um, um, yeah. So I saw this clip as AD the greatest gentleman on Instagram, and I was just listening. And I'm like, yo, this kind of makes sense. And then we had a brief conversation about it last night, and then we had some technical difficulties and had to log off, and it was all bad. So I'm hoping you guys can hear this, and then we can have a conversation about it.
This is tough because there are a lot of women that have bad assessment skills when it comes to good men. They really fumbled some good ones. And that's the conversation that no one wants to have. It's like there are a lot of women who told men to go heal, to go work on themselves, go figure out who they are. And a lot of them actually did. They sat with their childhood wounds. They confronted their avoidant patterns. They stopped outsourcing their emotions. They learned how to regulate, how to lead, how to effectively communicate. And they came back grounded. They came back clear, masculine in a way that's not chaotic, but anchored, you know? And so the uncomfortable truth that I want to get to the bottom of is like, some women just aren't ready for the very man that they prayed for, because a healed man doesn't chase, doesn't perform. He has boundaries, he has standards, he doesn't argue, he doesn't play emotional ping pong, he's not addicted to the highs and the lows. He's steady, he's grounded, he's present, he's safe, he's calm, he's gentle, right? All the things. But when you lived your life as a woman in survival mode, safety might feel suspicious to you, and consistency may feel boring, and a calm, safe, gentle love may feel like something's off. And a man who doesn't raise his voice, for you, it may feel like he doesn't care. But a grounded, masculine energy feels, sometimes to you, it might feel threatening, not because he's doing something wrong, but because your nervous system only recognizes love through chaos. And now that he's healed, the patterns that you never dealt with are being exposed. So you've asked for a healed man, but you didn't heal the version of you that only knows how to receive instability. And so now you're treating a grounded man like he's one of the ones who hurt you, while he's standing there doing everything that you wanted. And men feel that. They feel the skepticism, they feel the comparison, they feel the punishment for the wounds, for the pain that they did not create. I just want to be clear, because it's not about blame, it's about accountability. And if you want a healed man, then you got to heal the parts of you that don't trust peace, your own peace. You have to heal the parts that mistake consistency for a lack of passion, and the parts of you that keep sabotaging the very love that you say that you want. Because the truth is, a healed man isn't too much. You know, he's just too much for the version of you that hasn't healed. And that's the conversation that we're going to start having over here. Love. Oh, God.
Okay, so listening to it again today, there were a couple of things that he said that I feel um, that I'd like to unpack a little bit. Um, Again, in this particular clip, he was talking about the women, but when we had the conversation, we took the onus and kind of owned our part in it. And he said safety might feel suspicious, and consistency may feel boring. And now I'm curious to know what your thoughts are about that. But
Well, let's go back for a moment. So the reason why I think I wanted to be on the honest, I don't think any relationship is one dimensional. I do believe that we attract in that moment what we're reflecting. And so I think if you've attracted, high finger quote, a healed person, then on some level you've healed. You just may not be aware of the area that you've healed in. And so you may be picking scars versus scabs. You may be picking a healed area of your life because maybe you are conditioned on some level to a response that, like, oh, you do this, I do that. And when the person didn't do that, you were like, oh, wait, wrong script. Like, I don't know how to, what are you doing? I put you away and you stayed.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do after you stayed. I think when it comes to, I think you also I think we can never not consider the person receiving the message. I think I think whenever we generalize, we enter very dangerous waters. Relationships are truly based upon who's in the relationship. And it's how we make our choice and who we choose to be in a relationship with. Most of us are choosing from our past, which is why our futures look the same. But if we choose in our now, we choose in the moment, like this is a new moment, this is a new person, then the outcome can very well be different. Or it can even be the same, but you're clear that you are choosing. I feel like there was just a tinge of victim stuff in that I didn't hear before. And I just don't want to, I don't want us to leave the conversation feeling like we're victim to what our heart wants. Our heart wants what it wants. And I think this brother, first of all, I thought he was on point, beautifully eloquent, but I think to generalize, that's dangerous.
Oh, of course.
Like you just talked about a phenomenal woman that you're going to send your work to, that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's healed enough to read her script, but not healed enough to be your friend.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying, I'm using it as an example. Like,
yeah.
We'll resource people, but we won't be a resource for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have that yesterday.
Okay. That's fair. But that's a bold statement. He also made another claim, and he said, a calm, safe, gentle love may feel like it's all like something is off, and the person who doesn't raise their voice may feel like they don't care.
But you've also implied that this person has been conditioned to be okay with abuse of some kind. Because whenever I'm raising my voice if I'm raising my voice like if I was to say that I was raising my voice to you now, would you even care about what I'm saying, or would you be trying to manage my attitude or my personality? You won't hear me.
I think the dynamics are different just because I don't think you've ever raised your voice at me. So
There would never be a reason as an adult to raise a voice at another adult. For me. Like, I'm just at a point where I'm like, I'm not doing that with you.
But I think that's the caveat in being single for so long. If it ever got to that point, it's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that with you.
Yeah.
So where's the fine line between, I guess, fighting for your relationship and then standing in your boundaries or giving grace? Like, where's that? You know what I mean? Like that's.
Well, yeah, but I do believe that when you're fighting for a relationship, we're operating from a place of scarcity. I'm okay if you go. Let me tell you, like, some of the dumbest pranks I think I've seen on, like, I always watch the memes where the person walk into the house and the person pretends or feign, like somebody's in the house and they come and fight them. I'm like, why would you create that kind of insecurity in somebody you love?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that that's whack. Or to have somebody test your person. Like, I think that's very juvenile and immature. If I'm gonna reach out my hand to touch you, then it's gonna be to hold you or to like get maybe something off your shoulder. It's not gonna be to hit you. I don't even play hit in relationships. Like, I don't like it. Because of the way I grew up, your play hit might land you in the hospital. Because it could like trigger me off or set me off. And I'm like, you was playing. My fist didn't know. Like, no, I'm not doing that. How about we just not play that way, right? And then also talking to each other, creating I think the one thing that we don't do in relationships, we don't create boundaries for arguments. We don't create like, hey, talk to me the way you would want somebody to talk to me in the streets. Like when you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, I need 24 hours. And then being willing, once you all have agreed that this is a boundary, give the person the 24 hours with the understanding that when you get up in the morning, whatever that looks like, babe, I'm ready to talk. Thank you for giving me the 24 hours. This is what I was feeling. Because I think in the heat of the moment, if it's already, everybody knows that if you touch heat the wrong way, it's going to burn you. So why would you keep pressing into somebody who's telling you, I need a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of arguments and things like that happen because there's already a level of either insecurity or lack of trust. That's number one, with yourself and or with them, possibly. But I think also there's this kind of like, there's something about control, I think, that kicks in. Like, we're dating, so now I own you, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, and it's like, no, you're somebody that chose me and I'm choosing you. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing this upset, but I'm also choosing to love you through it. As
Yeah,
opposed to not, as opposed to pretending like you're not choosing, because choosing to not choose is a choice.
yeah, but I don't think people are necessarily cognizant of how they're showing up. People aren't taught to fight fair.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
Like,
So are we taught to be in abusive relationships?
no. I don't think we're I don't think we're taught to, but I do think people who have endured it become conditioned to, which is, I guess, the same thing. Because when you think about it, like, it's like the person who's been in jail for 10 years. Situation happens, they respond how they respond. When they relieve from jail, when that same situation presents itself outside of jail, they respond how they know or how they learned or how they were conditioned to respond in jail. And some people can't separate the two.
Well, here's the thing about generalizing. There are people who go to jail, find God or Allah, and so they don't respond the same that they used to. I know many who don't. I know many who've come through my training, actually, and 22-year bids and things like that, getting their master's degree from Columbia. Somebody just graduated. And just been like, nah, I don't want to go back. Because some of them know where your stop may be in a altercation or a upset. They know that theirs is straight to hell.
So who taught you how to fight?
My mother.
In relationship, like in verbally, like in that component? Because
Yep.
you just said a moment ago you're not raising your voice. When did that come across you? Like, when were you like, yeah, like, this ain't beneficial for neither one of us? Because that's not the lesson. That's not
My
something
mom,
someone.
she couldn't hear me. Yelling at her would be disrespectful. Outsmarting her would piss her off.
Okay, so
instead of being like, Mom, la 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 la, fuck you, could never do that, right?
that don't work in the Black household.
It don't work. But the day she called me a bastard for the 1 millionth time, I said, now, if I'm a bastard, what would that make you?
You said that to your mama?
Now, here's the thing. Have you ever heard the term, I will slap the taste out your mouth?
Yes, several times.
Son, My mother hit me so fast that my whole mouth went numb. Like I couldn't
So
feel my lips. I didn't know how to use my tongue. Like she slapped me, but it was fast. It was like, whoa. That's all I heard. And then pain.
so the taste was literally gone.
It was on her hand. She pulled it out of my mouth. She pulled her hand.
So
She hit me with
therefore,
this and pulled all of the knowing. Like she pulled it out. But here's the thing, though. She never called me bastard again. She never called me bastard again. And I was also the child could be like, could you stop doing that? That's ignorant. Now, if you're talking to me like that and I'm your child, am I supposed to trust that you like are gonna have my back when I really need you? That's why she taught me how to fight.
okay,
And so I would be like, she taught me to be nice, nasty.
nice, nasty.
Yeah, I can say F you without saying F you. How
Mm,
about you have the day you deserve?
mm. Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, go be great.
So that could mean well, but the condescending tone takes it a whole different. It
It
takes a
takes
whole different turn.
a whole different level. And I was like, but she taught me that's how she taught me how to fight. And I had to learn in like romantic and intimate relationships that people don't know me. They're getting to know me, even if they know me for a couple of years. My sarcasm, I use it in humor, but my sarcasm comes with a sting because it's always been my weapon.
Mm-hmm.
My
So there's a,
sarcasm always been my weapon.
so there's a bit of truth in that sarcasm that hits people and below the belt.
Yeah. I don't know a joke that ain't true.
Touche.
Yeah, I
Touche.
don't. Yeah, you gotta pay a listen for y'all who thinking like when you let people be like disrespectful, they'll be heavy with it in a minute.
So where does ego come into this arguing thing? Because I feel like if I'm like in the early days, I feel like pride, ego, not wanting to be wrong or sunned or chumped or whatever is what created a lot of arguments on my behalf. And that's what in a relationship or with the fellas or whatever. Like I feel like as men we tend to dance around pride a lot or hold on to that a lot, which ultimately ruins a lot of relationship or puts a big damper in the relationship because we can't see past our own, pride.
So let's
You know,
let's talk about relationship in a real way. Like when you think about like energy and stuff like that, feminine energy rules every relationship.
rules, you said.
Rules feminine energy, not
Mm,
feminine. Feminine energy rules every relationship. Um, straight, gay, non-binary, transgender, like it rules every relationship. And so there's a level of intimacy and vulnerability that women hold that
mm,
men can access. And often when we access it, it's almost from a surrender. Right? It's like, okay, you know what, you got it. You got it. I was wrong. No, but did you just say you were wrong? Yeah, I was wrong. I apologize. I don't want to do this with you. Can we just talk about it?
yeah, but we don't get to that phase until way after we done messed up too many relationships.
I didn't say we were fast, but that's the whole. But you actually, and so I think when we talk about relationship, because you've defined what it is to be a man, right? You're operating inside of man, thinking that she knows your definition, and she doesn't.
Yeah, but we talked about that last night. I think everyone, not everyone, but many of us have a different interpretation of what man is.
All of us, none of us have the same version. All of us have a different version. I promise you, we do. We may have some similarities in the definition, but I
Mm.
think even with those women, like here's a prime example. Um, would you prefer a weak woman or a strong woman?
Would I prefer a weak woman or a strong woman? Strong.
Okay, I was concerned because I was like, are you thinking about this shit?
No, no,
All
no.
right.
I'm just
So imagine we'll say we want a strong woman, and this woman shows up in her definition, her version of strong. What's the first thing we tell her to do? What's the first thing we tell her to do? Real question.
if she shows up in her version of strong.
Yeah, okay. Let me give you some attributes. She's opinionated. She enjoys talking. She's okay with a little arguing back and forth, right? Banter in a certain way. How like what do we usually say to that woman?
What do we normally say to that woman?
Be
My,
quiet.
I was gonna say, hush up, pipe down.
Pipe down. So now we're asking her, number one, be inauthentic, don't be herself. So now she's trying to do that because she's probably craving relationship. And eventually the resentment is what becomes paramount in the relationship. And then she's like, she'll throw a tantrum thinking she's creating a boundary. Ain't nobody gonna ever tell me to shut up. My daddy didn't tell me to shut up. Your daddy wasn't in your life.
Hmm.
Right.
That.
And then there are people whose dads have made princesses. So they think that everyone should treat them like a princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not.
I've experienced that.
Yeah. And so that becomes, well, do you want to date your dad or do you want to date me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm grateful for your dad too. He made you. But you like, and then here's the thing that's funny though. What makes us choose the people that we choose?
That's what we got into last night,
Like, what
and
makes us choose them?
that was an interesting conversation because I think after making some poor choices in the past and reflecting on it, I got to really dissecting my choice and what is it about me that continues to attract this type of person. And I don't think men are asking themselves that question. It turns into, oh, she was crazy. Oh, she was crazy too. Oh yeah, she was crazy too. Everybody got a crazy baby mama. You know what I'm saying? But like,
And you're in an insane asylum. You're in an insane asylum. Like, you're in an asylum. Like, you
mm-hmm,
hold out. You're where crazy comes to.
mm-hmm,
If she's crazy and the crazy who's after her don't know her, they don't know each other. So you're attracting crazy. So you're in an asylum.
yeah, but what? So now the question is, if that statement is relative to a lot of men, then what is it about us? Or I like to just come take it on my own myself. What is it about me that has attracted a certain type of woman in pockets? It's not like it's consistently that way, but there's been some situations where you have to question, like, damn, what are you doing?
Now, everybody don't question what they're doing. Like, I'll give you a prime example. What's the one thing we say? We meet the person and we go, you know what, this relationship, if they would only do what? This would be a great relationship if the person would only do what? The person
Listen
that
to me.
listen to you or change. You never consider that maybe it's who you're being
Mm-hmm.
that's giving them permission. I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general. And so what we do, we go, if you change, then I'll be different, as opposed to let me be different and
Mm-hmm.
model the behavior. Ooh, I want intimacy in the relationship. It's not here. Then bring it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my sister telling me, with my first and only wife, I was about 23. I made a comment about her shoes or something. My sister said, "Do not talk about women's things that you're not willing to change." So after that statement, I went and bought her 6 pair of shoes. And then I found myself ready to talk about something else. So I went and bought bras and panties.
Mm-hmm.
Took her shopping, got her what she wanted, because I got clear that if you're not willing to support her and make her better, then don't tear her down. Even if you're just acknowledging a thing. And I think
So
that's the piece. Like, for me, that's something, when I think about being a man, my thing is, if you can talk about it, be ready to fix it. Like, I got a lot of brothers, unless you get in here, who like, oh, I want a traditional woman. Okay, cool. Are you in a position to pay all her bills?
mm-hmm.
If you just want her to stay home and cook, because you want a traditional woman.
Mm-hmm.
But have you asked her what traditional woman means for her?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. We make assumptions that women are fragile. They're not. They're brilliant.
1,000,000,000%.
The dopest thing that God ever made, in my opinion. It would be irresponsible to assume we know a thing about. I don't speak woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not good at it, right? But I don't know who is. That's not a woman. women have a way of communicate, and the thing about communication too, we share with women how we feel, those of us who haven't done the other work.
Mm-hmm.
Women, I mean, we tell women what we think, pardon me. Women tell us how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's always in the query of, do you love me? Because our behavior is saying, I'm tolerating you.
So a moment ago, you said something about if you see something about a woman that you're not willing to change, and you're not willing to, you're willing to call it out, but not support her through it. My situation as of late, just in terms of in the dating scene, is I get to a point where I identify something that might, cause an alarm, ring a bell, whatever, and I mention it. But I also get set back because of it. So it's like, am I invested enough to support her through this? Or do I just let her know what I see and hope that she can change that
Now,
particular thing, like you just said?
I want you to hear what you just said. Do you remember what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Like once you've identified it, you become what? Well, you said like when you identify it, you almost like there's a part of you that either like, it's like you pull back just a little bit because now it's like, ugh. But then the question is, are you in reaction to what's happening or what has happened?
So so both.
Okay.
Because I feel a certain way because I caught something and it reminds me of what has happened. But prior to that, I wouldn't have said anything.
Okay, great. So I want
It would
to
have.
your vulnerability, but I also want to ask you to be accountable for your trigger and not making your trigger her responsibility. And I'm saying in general, I'm not saying you, but I think sometimes we make other people responsible for our triggers. She didn't know that. She's getting to know you.
Right. Which is why I articulated it. But it gets to a point where it's like, well, one, remember, we got to be careful with that word trigger. We have to be,
yeah,
because
that's why I'm saying.
So
Like,
when,
go
again,
ahead.
alarmed, when something comes off that raises an alarm, I now go, okay, this is something that makes me uncomfortable. Let me communicate that so she knows this is where I'm at. So we teach people how to treat us. No,
We do. Did you tell her how to do it differently?
that's probably where some work could be done, because I'll state it and then not necessarily give. That's a good point. So we come with the problem, but not the solution.
Well, my name is Leslie. People, especially white people, will go, "Hey, Les, don't ever call me that again, please." And here's why: the definition hasn't changed. I prefer you call me Leslie or Butta, or just like don't say anything to me at all. Is that cool? Yes, Leslie, I got it. Beautiful. Because if you don't, because I also want to support them in, I'm not saying don't call me Les now. I'm saying period.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know that until they know that. And I think that's the other thing too. We make assumptions that people can read our minds. Right? And we get stuck on the 5 love languages.
Oh Lord.
We do. And we forget the 6th one, and that's the person you're dating. They have their own language. You have that person that you're with has their very own language unique to them.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, even though like let's flip this conversation. Let's say you're in the relationship and it's working. What about you knowing not just her favorite color, but how she like her food prepared? You know what I'm saying? And now you're at the point where you can order for her. Babe, can you order something for me? Yeah. She's like a medium rare burger, please. Do not bring it pink. If it's pink, she's gonna send it right back. It's though like we forget that on the side of the coin where people may be healed but not chosen, there are people who are healed, healing, and chosen. Right? I think that people who show up healed, at least what I'm learning in my own life, is that people who are healed in a particular way, and it was glaring today. People who are healed in a certain way, when they highlight my deficit, I used to have so much shame. And I would immediately like be angry with my parents. Y'all didn't prepare me. But who parents sit them down and say, hey, we need to do it step by step? Nobody really does, right? We find out the way we find out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that I said with. And like I think with you, because dude, I heard a woman say, who's supposed to be the woman in the relationship if we both crying? I said, yo, your man can't cry? Your man's can't like cry with you? Don't give him
Not,
a son. Don't give him a daughter. You're gonna see tears.
yeah, so that's another uncomfortable thing about being a man. Like, be given the everyday stressors that come into our world. When we finally cultivated a safe space with our lady at home, if something like that was said, it completely dismantles the safe space, and now we no longer we. I mean, we may stay together for the rest of it, but walking into that safe space is done. I think most men will shut down the first time that safe space is violated because
Well,
it
and
takes
here's
so much for us to get there.
well, I think one mistake is creating safe spaces. So many of us have been injured in our safe spaces. When I do my workshops, I start at bold and courageous. Eventually, it will feel safe, but I encourage people to feel safe in themselves. Don't lean it over to the safe. Be the safest space wherever you go. That's easy for me to say. I am not always great at it because I'm also learning it, but I've learned that if I take back the power of my safety and give it to me, then I'm also clear. Wait a minute, this space is not matching how I feel. I have to go because it may not necessarily be the space is unsafe. I'm unsafe, and that's the thing. We give all the power over to the space, and now we're waiting for the space to do this miraculous change. But it was unsafe when you walked in.
Yeah, but a lot of dudes don't know. A lot of dudes don't even know what a safe space feels like
They haven't
with
had permission.
with their homies, with their parents, with their ladies. None of that.
But isn't it funny how all of that is changing? I see so many reels of fathers kissing their sons. That is the most beautifulest, and I said beautifulest,
Mm-hmm.
things that I've seen in a long time. Like I always remember this young brother. I'm gonna share the reel with you at some point, but he's getting his son together for school. I think I sent it to you on Instagram. He's getting his son together for school, and he's like, "Dad, kiss," and he was like, "No," like he's trying to get him ready. You can see he's trying to get him ready for either daycare or something.
Mm-hmm.
And his son says to him, "Oof, it tore me up when I first saw it. Daddy, you can do it."
Ha.
Yo, dude, it makes me want to cry.
You might have because I intentionally just the other day picked my son up and I gave him both kisses. I'm like, I saw something of a day and it was like, kiss your sons, and I said, when you have sons, make sure you kiss and hug your sons. And I kissed my boys and hugged them for like a good couple of minutes apiece. You know what I'm saying? And just like, this is what we is, and they were receptive of it and cool with it. But I made it a point to do this. So I think you did send me the video. But one of our recently left a comment said our parents were learning growing up and then into themselves, and at the same time they were trying to teach. I agree, but
Oh, I love
I
that.
think I think our parents were nowhere near as emotionally intelligent as we are growing to be.
Well, they grew up in a time where vulnerability would have gotten them killed.
Yeah.
Their heads had to stay on a swivel. My parents are much older than your mom. Were much older than your mom, so they also grew up in a different time. They grew up when they grew up in 2026 because it feels like over there in 1930. But so they went through those things, right? I think parents are also. I think not only are parents learning. I'd also believe to the person that left that beautiful message is that some children come to the planet, believe it or not, to raise the parent. And so the children are teaching us love. The children are teaching us intimacy. Where it's like, your boys didn't shun you. They're like, finally, like, thanks, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, now it's the
Mm-hmm.
expectation. And don't let it be a runoff. Right? Don't let it be like that one day, here's a kiss. It's like, you're mine. I'm glad I made you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm glad that you're walking around with my DNA. Your name is just as valuable as Gucci and Fendi. They're just last names. We're
Mm-hmm.
valuable. We're moguls. and love them into that and have them understand it. And say to our daughters, like, you can surrender that last name only if you choose a name that has value. And value means knowing that you're going to be respected and loved and held. Right? There's some countries that the men take the woman's name.
I've heard that, and
The truth. But don't let American culture have you convinced that that's the only way to do it. There's so many other ways. Like, that's what I loved about the young brother Corey yesterday, who was
shout out
clear.
to Corey.
Yeah, like he came out, like had been in the class for 20 years, preacher, the whole nine, been married. And what I found interesting just in listening to you both dialogue, there were not a lot of differences.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo. Like, there were not, the only difference was who he was loving.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenges were the same, the exact same.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo. It was just wow. It was beautiful, and it was just wow.
Okay. So the topic of it was healed and unloved. I don't know why, but in this moment right now, I feel like that's I'm healing and loved, but like in the search for that partner, I feel like I'm getting in the way, in my own way, more often than not, and I'm genuinely working at all the little things, because again, I pay attention to everything that's going on, and I'm super communicative now. But to your point a moment ago, I don't think I've been attempting to teach people how to treat me, but I don't think I've given solutions. I identify something that kind of set me off, and then be like, listen, this is just to be aware of this, because this is how it made me feel, and I'm not offering a suggestion or a solution as to, in the event this situation arises again, this is how we could probably navigate through it together.
But also, in fairness to you, you didn't know you could. See how that worked? You didn't know you could. And it's not that you needed permission. You literally did not know. You didn't know that you didn't know that you didn't even know you didn't know. Didn't know. Like, you didn't have that in your toolbox of relationship.
So here's my thing though. I go into this space where it's like, you know what? I'm growing, and before I would just get upset and shut down. But now I'm openly communicating some things that might hit me in the feelers. But even with that, now I'm learning, okay, well, it's great to communicate it, but you're not offering any solution behind it. You're anticipating that these people hear you and are listening and will adjust on their own. And they may not know how to.
Well, let's go back to your let's go back to your conversation around ego. That's ego. I've healed.
Mm-hmm.
I am new.
Mm-hmm.
I've been made over. And now all of a sudden, you are healed and single. You healed and lonelier than a motherfucker. Like, you healed. But what about like, I'm healed. Let me give you space to grow.
Yeah. So it said, there's a quote, I think I've mentioned this several times in the podcast, it said, we expect our significant others to show up as a completed version while we give ourselves the grace to evolve.
Yeah. Do you realize how much you talk about relationship?
Yeah.
I love that you are a hopeful romantic. You're the only one that don't know.
No, I do. I'm thoroughly aware of that.
You know how to discuss it. You can put it in poetry. But you have this thing where you create intimacy like that.
I agree.
But when it comes to relationship, you keep showing up new with the old like system in you, though.
That's what I'm still dissecting. I'm trying to figure it out, because
you're not even looking at her and going, oh, da 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 da. You're going, you broke that last person's heart. And so you also want to be careful not to protect women from you. Like,
I don't think I'm doing that.
I think you're doing it by blaming them. Instead of giving them a chance to be different, you're going, in your mind, I believe, that you're like, I don't think you're consciously going, oh, that's a game we on. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna stay around to show you I ain't no punk, which is like, why would we do that? Because on some level, you didn't communicate that injured me, that hurt me. Now that you're able to do that, you're now like, okay, now that I said that to you, this should change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna change because has she ever heard somebody say that? Maybe there's an opportunity to go, is there anything that I do that maybe like bothers you?
I've had that conversation.
How does that work?
I've had that conversation.
How does that go?
It hasn't been something that was made me sit back and go, damn, like I'm really over here messing up.
What are you messing up?
I don't know. Just in terms of like why is there this? There's this beautiful phase. Obviously, in the beginning, there's this beautiful phase, right? And then something comes about that is like, oh man, I don't got to deal with this shit.
What would be? Give me an example. Are you willing to share an example?
I struggle with women who carry a heightened insecurity of other women. I struggle with that. We all have our insecurities as far as, our personal stuff, but like coming into the relationship going, don't like another girl's picture on Instagram or bugging out over, I just don't like, or the unprovoked accusations.
Can I offer something?
Of course. Don't do that.
I know. If you're willing to be honest in this moment.
Of course, I'm always willing to be honest.
No, I know you are. I'm just saying it that way because you don't know the question I'm about to ask.
Okay.
Without naming, and I'm saying not even referencing a time.
Okay.
But I do want you to think about the times when women have thought that and they've been right. When they have been like, oh, you da-da-da-da-da, before you had somebody locked in, you may not have like approached, but there may have been a moment where you were like, she could get it though. Right? And so that insecurity, and then like, I mean, you can triage the relationship and be like, who hurt you? Because it's clearly like a response from a hurt that actually occurred where somebody felt betrayed. There's no, like, I'm somebody that's different. You can sleep with whoever you want to. That's really how I feel. Oh, you cheated, you slept with somebody. Okay, cool. Right? You needed more of what I didn't need. Got it. However, do you love them? Right? Because you can like sleep with people all day, but you can't you can't detach from an intimate connection in the same way you can from a physical one. Right?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So, and it just, I mean, I think you just opened up a whole nother can of worms, and I don't really want to go down that road because we're running up on time. But are you? Did I just hear you say that you're like? What I heard was you're okay with a cheater?
No, I'm saying I'm okay with somebody who needs more sex.
The fuck is the difference, Butta?
I don't feel like it's cheating. I feel like it's a need being met that I can't meet.
And you're okay with that, with your partner?
You got to remember how old I am, too. You got to consider that I know what comes from chasing somebody and thinking you own their body.
Okay. Okay.
And
that's like, a perspective that people should consider.
I got it. Now, if you're saying to me that you love this person, I'm always going to tell you to choose that person. Because whatever happened that you needed to create another intimate, romantic relationship, that's who you should be with.
Rishi said, what's your zodiac sign, Butta?
Oh, Lord. I'm a Capricorn.
I know I'm a Capricorn.
Wait, I need my astrology report. What are you doing?
Oh, she about to give you a detailed email after this. Reese, don't play.
So Reese eat me up right now. Like, what happened? What happened? Like, what did I do?
No. So this conversation literally went all over the
You
place.
keep
But
saying that it really didn't, because here's the baseline from it. It can't be so simplistic as somebody healed shows up and they're and you don't get to have love. I keep saying they're healed but not chosen, because we think, oh, I've come with this new information, I'm different, better, or evolved, and because you're not reacting to me in the way that I think you should, somehow you're wrong. No, we never considered that. Hey, babe, let's read this book together.
Mhm.
What a way! Like we never consider like a way to create a, a solution versus like always presenting the problem.
Mhm.
And I think there's a solution in that conversation. Like, if you understand yourself to be healed, when you want your woman healed, when you want your man healed, like you can't just come and go, I'm healed. That's selfish. I'm healed. Yeah, you lonely
Yeah,
than a
so
motherfucker too.
I can't. We gotta have to talk offline about this because I really got to put this in the air, and I'm afraid how this is gonna make me sound and look. But I have some real vivid and prime examples of exactly what we're talking about that I have to dig deeper into to own more of whatever it is in the moment. I gotta own more of my part in the situation because I have absolutely done a lot of what we're talking about,
Okay. Now,
and
here's the thing. How many women have dated your sex versus dating you?
that's another, again, a whole nother conversation.
Not a whole nother conversation,
But it,
because what begins to happen, because we create soul ties with each other, there's almost immediately a moment where either she'll do it or you'll do it, where it's like, I don't want you sharing that with nobody else. Now,
Mhm.
mind you, you were cool way before you met them, but the moment they meet you and y'all get it cracking, you you can, I believe, you sex that crazy out of folks. We sex it out of each other. I really believe that on some level. Once we get naked and I show you where the blemishes and the spots are and the moles that don't nobody see, that one secret tattoo, and the sex is crazy on both parts, there's a level, because you've created all this intimacy with the talking and you listen to me and I like the way you talk. Oh my God. Well, it's not just about talk with me because I'm a poet and I'm a wordsmith. Words come easy to me. I really want to get to know you. I'm not saying you say that, but I can hear that being said. And then you create the
No.
moment, and then all of a sudden it's turn off the lights, and then lights go out, and then you know how the ceiling fan it's on and it's going, and before you know it, it's like, yo, that was amazing. That was amazing for you, and in her mind, because women are reared to marry us, she's making plans, and that's the part
That's
that I
fair.
think men miss. That women, like, I like that women have taken back their bodies, but they leave their emotional selves in the bed with us. And the request is that we handle them with care, but I don't think we do a good job of that. I think when women are vulnerable with us, like, think about all the women you said were strong, that you said they were strong for themselves.
Mhm.
That we often will tell women that they're strong, but it's based upon something they've survived at the hands of somebody else. We never say, like, there's so many other adjectives for women that we don't use. And so it's hard for them to heal when we're healed because we're holding them to an unreasonable standard. Yo, Sherry, I mean, thanks.
That's Reese. Reese.
Who's that? Reese? Reese,
That's
like,
Reese.
that's it. Reese, that's it. You made me open up my healthy food.
Reese said, my homeboy's dad said, you can't be out here writing your name on everything because everything ain't yours. Lord have mercy. Yeah. So, but we gotta have a conversation outside of this thing because I really do got some stuff I wanna throw at you and see how and just dissect a little bit
Yeah, we
more.
come back. I mean, dude, but this happened. Corey has me convinced that relationships are just relationships.
Mhm.
Like, he has me convinced now. I thought they were like different in contrast, but I think the same thing is there. I think the dynamic is a little different because it's two men. But I think where there's feminine and masculine energy, there's a level of introspection
Mhm.
that gay men sit with early in life that those of us who are discovering this conversation of transformation and a transformed life and even therapy are starting to sit with introspection. And we can't be around here slapping people around emotionally because we think we somehow evolved and they have not or cannot. Somebody gave you grace. Somebody gave me grace. What would what would happen if you said to that same woman, um, I didn't like that, but I do like you. And I'm willing to figure this out until we can't. And, there may be times when I will need space. I'm not going to be able to manage your insecurities. Those are all on you. I'm only going to be for your greatness. I cannot fight you for mediocrity. And be able to articulate that in such a way to her where she either gets it or you thank her for her time. But I also don't believe in settling because somebody just stayed or they picked you. But that's my stuff.
No, yeah. So there's more we can get into, and we can piggyback on this. But I appreciate the conversation. I do feel like we went all over the place. Maybe I'm just me, but there are a lot. She's so stupid. Reese's so stupid. Look, but
That part.
that's why they hiding in the bushes.
We see that's
Nah,
it.
there are some. Maybe I could talk to Reese about this too, because she stay uh laying it to me straight. So
Have Reese jump on the show at some point so we can like have a
yeah,
because it
I
would be
put the
great.
link in. I put the link in the chat. She don't want to talk to us. I'm gonna get her
Like
on
to
next week.
get I would love to get a woman's perspective because I think that's a mistake we sometimes make too. We're talking for women instead of talking to women.
Right. No, we've had this conversation before on the podcast, but we can revisit the conversation. I think it's important for us to have that conversation. But as much as we're talking for women, we're really dissecting ourselves and well, me. I'm certainly trying to dissect myself, and because in all these experiences we've talked about, I can't help but to relate it to what I've been through or going through, and I do really genuinely want to become the best version of it. But it's continuing to evolve and take in these hard truths and learn. But in some cases, I sit there and I'm going, "Damn, I did that. I did that. I did that. Did that. Did that. Did that. Did that." And at what point do I got to be the one to stop? Why is it always me to doing the doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
But I think
that is where.
yeah. Who else could we be talking about? When we say all black men need therapy, I find myself there's a part of my training that I found myself struggling with recently where I was in my way. Like
Mhm.
I'm reading this to people and like talking to them about it, but I was like, oh wait, I'm in my way.
Yeah. So you said yesterday, I wrote it. It's written out right. It said I need to make me my client.
Yeah, like I have to be with me in a real way and go like for the next 2 weeks. I don't have another training in the way that I deliver them. So I'm gonna go through all the curriculum and take my own notes. What Reese say?
She said, "Why? Because I'm laughing." She says she's coming out her locks. Her head look a mess right now, so she gonna come talk to us soon.
All right,
So
cool. Reese, you are
I'm
welcome.
with that.
Wait, first of all, you got to tell me what this Capricorning is.
No, she didn't say nothing. She says there's no report. She was just curious, but she see it. She see the Capricorn in you. I don't know what that
I
means,
don't
but
even know what that means. Reese, just tell me a little bit of what the Capricorn means. Just a little bit.
anywho, while
Untangle
she
your hand hair. Like take your hand out your hair. Hit the clicker bockums and like hit me. I need to know what that looked like because
I
that's
read
in,
something today about an Aries and it said like the basically the good and the bad was so inaccurate as it pertains to who I am. It
what
was
is it?
really really weird.
Talk about it.
I don't know if I liked the post, but it definitely was like I'm like no, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. That's not me. So I don't know if it um yeah I won't be able to find it now at all. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and wrap this thing and come back next week with bigger and better conversations for the people. Maybe I think we could. I think I'm a pre-select a few people to come join us in the conversation so we can make it a round table discussion. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
We can do that. Nevertheless, but go ahead, man. Let's tap into our final thoughts as it pertains to this episode.
I mean, for this episode, I feel like though you were asking questions and I was answering, I felt like I was being interviewed. But what it also allowed me to see is that I also don't want to be full of shit. And I want to know what a Capricorn is. But more than that, I actually enjoyed
Oh
it.
Lord, oh Lord. Go ahead, sorry.
I love you so much.
And I
And
love you back.
I want you to have a love that wakes you up in the morning, rushes you out to work, brings you back home, have you in full on planning mode for you and y'all children, and dreaming and traveling and having a good time, and this amazing woman is your best friend. Like that's been my prayer for you a lot, even heavier in these last couple of months, because you deserve a teammate. You're good on a team.
Appreciate you.
Right? So like that for me, that's why it's really important to me for you to have what you say you want, and for her to get from you what she needs as well. That there be balance. That's not just one dimensional. Don't hurt my brother and don't you hurt somebody's sister.
Respect. Respect. So I think for me, what I took most, well, one thing that was glaring for me in this conversation was I have learned to be very communicative in how I feel in regards to something that my partner did, but I haven't been the best at communicating with them how to fix it. So, you know, uh, problem without a solution, what they say, a problem without a solution is a complaint. And I don't want to be a complainer. I want to be a fixer. I want to be a partner. I want to be able to build in a healthy way where we can have these tough discussions, learn what we need to do to make it right, and then and then continue to chase that healthy way of living and within a relationship. So yeah, don't just be a complainer. Come with a solution. That's my final thought. Reese, I don't know. Reese says she praying with you for me. I don't think I like y'all. Nevertheless, y'all, this has been another episode. We can be reached at all social media platforms at All Black Men Need Therapy. Shoot us an email at allblackmenneedtherapy@gmail.com. In addition, we have a voicemail line where you can call us and one of us will pick up the phone and we can have a discussion. You can shoot us a text message. We can go back and forth. It's 860-410-6160. 860-410-6160. Shoot us a text. Let us know what it is, what it was, and what it does. Per usual, this has been an episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. And do us all a favor and hug a black man today and tomorrow. We out, y'all. Say
Peace.
goodbye. Damn.
I'm just saying.